So this morning, my daughter, she's 8 years old and she'll be 9 in December. But she was sitting on the couch and she turned on the TV. And lo and behold, there was something on the TV, whether it was, I think it was a little blurb on the TV that said another shooting had taken place. And I don't know about you, but I can remember watching the news as a little girl and not seeing a whole lot of or hearing about a lot of violent acts taking place. I remember still being shocked when a couple of children, and actually a couple of kids that we knew that were going to school with us, not much older than us. One was actually in my class, and we were still living in Eagle Park, Illinois, and they had someone murdered them. And I remember being shocked by that. So I wasn't hearing a lot about people killing, a lot of killings. And now we are hearing a lot about violent acts. We just recently had a shooting to occur, I believe, in Chicago. And my hope is that I definitely try not to judge people, but to see things as they are. And when I saw the person's face, the suspect, I could see pain. And I'm not unsure of what all he had gone through, experienced in his life. But I know that everyone has trials and tribulations, and that we are all, hear me, all susceptible to unleashing our pain on others. If you just take violence, the word violent act out of it, that a lot of people, and I remember, before I make that statement, I remember that I was watching, I was reading about another person who had ended up shooting someone or shooting a lot of people. I think it was at a school, yes. And all you have to do is wait for it, in hearing their troubled life, and hearing that the person was not living with his parents. Now, I am not here to blame. I never wanted to blame anyone for anything. It's about taking responsibility. It's about seeing things as they are. And it's about finding a solution to the issues that we see, that we experience. That many people are hurting and unfortunately are not getting the care, the reminders that they are greater than their experiences. That when a parent chooses not to be a part of our lives, and as you know, I'm speaking from experience. I didn't grow up with my father. My father admits he was an alcoholic and he was abusive toward my mother. And it was my mother who said, enough is enough," because she saw, I believe, she saw what that can do to her. Anytime that you start thinking about hurting someone else, that it's time to make a change. And I am thankful to this day that we did not grow up in that type of environment. And I know there are people who have. I've read several stories over the past week about people having fathers, often fathers, it could be mothers too, who were alcoholics, who were abusive, and having to grow up in that environment. My heart goes out to those people. I know even family members that grew up in abusive, alcoholic relationships. And the biggest thing that I can tell someone is that you still have a choice. You don't have to be what you experienced. And when I was talking to my daughter, and I often tell my children, and we've been going over actually virtues. We've been going over compassion and commitment. There are over 52 virtues. And I often started telling my children they were younger because I went through a potentially traumatic experience, and actually experiences where I could have chosen to carry that pain with me and to project that pain on others. Instead, I dug deep, and I believe it's about really facing our emotions, because until you face your emotions, until you see them for what they are, until you allow them to transform you, to transcend your experiences, transform you in a positive light, to realize no one else should go through or should experience what I experience, that it hurts too much to not have a parent available, that it hurts seeing your mother struggle to keep a roof over your head, to keep food on your plate, to work from sun up to sundown, knowing where she was every day. If she wasn't at home, more than likely she was at work. Now, I don't say this out of pain, I say it out of love. That we are not the projected pain that we feel. When a parent chooses not to be a part of our lives, it is their choice. You are not at fault when a parent is not active in your life, in your life. They are dealing with something that has all of their attention. That they feel like they're stuck. There's nowhere else to go but here in this pain that I feel. And at any time, we can become unstuck. At any time, we can choose to let the past be the past. At any time, we can let go of a parent that does not want to be involved in our lives, knowing that it has nothing to do with us. That they're the ones that miss out on the wonderful, amazing opportunity to be a spiritual garden, to be a parent. And even in the lack of not having your parent, there is something greater within you, something greater that loves you, that doesn't consider you a mistake. And I cannot imagine hearing that from a parent. And if you have heard that, I want to say that you are not a mistake. That the pain that you have experienced is for a reason. That all things, I believe, work together for good. That you take the pain you feel and you let it help you make this world a better place. That you are greater than your emotions, than your feelings. That you can become unstuck. That the limitations that someone tries to sow in your garden do not need to become your limitations. And there are many people out there that refuse to be identified or refuse to become like the person that projected their pain on them. And I always said, humans are humans, you guys. So often we want to rest in the titles that you are my mother, you are my father. So you have to take care of me. You have to love me. You have to show me the way to be. And when it all boils down to it, it boils down to they still have a choice. That honestly, no one owes you anything. And that's a hard thing to swallow. That everything I know my mother did was a choice, her choosing. Everything my father does is his choice. No matter what I say, do, my mother has done, anyone has done to him, just like your father, just like your mother. And yes, it's unfortunate when people don't act the way we want them to act, but the way that we become unstuck is realize that they have a choice. When it's all said and done, their choice is their choice. And your choice is yours. And the only way you break the cycle of pain is that you choose to use your experiences, your pain, to make the world better. To not take it personally when people say or do things to you. To not take it personally when your parent doesn't want to be around you. To not take it personally when they slander you, sisters and brothers. I've seen it, I've heard it. We will experience trials and tribulations, but our experiences, again, as I've said, are to bring out the best in us. You don't have to go to look for love. You don't have to go and look for compassion, for hope, for truth, because all of that resides in you. I don't try to protect my children from what's going on in the world as far as not letting them hear it. Because my mother was all about you need to listen to the news to know what's going on. We need to face things as they're happening. It's happening. But it doesn't mean that that's the way it has to be. Yes, that did happen. Yes, people are in pain. Can they break free? Yes, they can. It's one choice at a time. And we must deal with our experiences as they are. Because when you say, oh, she never had that in her, but it was the mounting of experiences that continued to sow seeds of anger and frustration and resentment inside until there was a full harvest of weeds, of anger, resentment, hate, rage. We're rushing too much. We're not dealing with our experiences the way we need to, the way we need to see it. We need to look at our underlying beliefs. I've been discussing Heart to Heart Mondays on my Facebook page, Fulfill Your Divine Purpose, because many people are dying of heart disease every year, every day, leading cause of death in men and women. And remember, there is a Bible verse that says, out of the heart flows the issues of life. We need to take the time and deal with our issues in life. Have grounding principles that keep us steadfast through the storms of life. We cannot break the cycle of pain if we don't take the necessary time to deal with our experiences, to put them in their rightful place. So, the message for today is that you don't need to stay stuck. We have it within us to break free from our pain, from our past, to learn, to grow, and to be who we are. Too many people have forgotten who we are, what we're here to do. And we're allowing this mountain, this weight of experiences to cover up who we are. One person at a time. One person at a time. This is Timika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. My heart goes out to not only the people that have lost loved ones, but to the people that have projected their pain, that weren't able to let go, to put it in a healthy, to put their experiences in a healthy experience, because there is another way. We don't have to become what we've been through. We can rise above that by remembering who we are, by taking the necessary time to put experiences in their place, by cutting out the shame and the blame, and allowing people to have their choice, and choosing for ourselves that we're going to do the exact opposite of pain. We're going to let go. We're going to see your pain, your actions, your words for what they are, and we're not going to take it personal, no matter who you are. And I believe if we do that, just even those things, one at a time, we will unload, dismantle this cycle of pain. So you can check me out on Monday mornings about 10:05, talking about heart to heart, protecting our heart. I'll still be discussing things on my podcast, Create a Generational Love Cycle. I've been discussing my mother's life principles, and I'll just be discussing other things that we can do to help create this generational cycle of pain. And I do also to have newsletters that go out quarterly, healthy tips to help you. My three things, you guys: fulfill your divine purpose, achieve optimal health, achieve and sustain optimal health, and heal from the inside out. Those are three critical things that I think will help us make or create a generational love cycle. We got to do something. Too many people are dying, and too many people are dying a slow death from the inside out before they go and project their pain on other people. You can get unstuck. I'll talk to you guys soon. Make this lifetime great because you can. No experiences define you.